Secretary.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, if you can please tell the jury your name and spell your last name for the court reporter.
Yes, sir. Officer David Ziegler, D-A-V-I-D-Z-I-E-G-L-E-R.
And I see you're in uniform. How are you employed?
As a patrol officer with the Tampa Police Department.
How long have you been working with the Tampa Police Department?
11 years now.
All right. What are your duties as a patrol officer with the Tampa Police Department?
Answer service calls, proactive patrol in my assigned area.
Do you assist sometimes in investigations?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to take you to May 6th of 2022. Were you working as a patrol officer back in that time?
I was.
What was your district that you worked?
3 at the time.
Okay. Was this location where this homicide of Nilexia Alexander occurred, was that in District 3?
It was.
All right. And did you go to the scene in this particular case?
I did.
All right. And what were your duties when you went to the scene?
I was instructed to obtain any potential surveillance video at surrounding residences that may have captured the offense or incident itself.
Okay. Did you go to the residence of a gentleman by the name of Aaron Saul?
Yes.
Do you recall where he lived?
I believe it was 2905 North Highland Avenue.
So I'm showing you what's already been introduced as State's Exhibit 36B, and I don't know if it is on this particular map, but maybe you can kind of at least give a general indication of where the house is located. Do you see that residence of Aaron Saul on this map of 2905? It may not be on here. I'm not sure if it's a large enough map.
I'm trying to find it. I do see Highland and I do see Nebraska.
Was it south or north of Florabraska?
Would have been south of.
South of, so it would have been this way on the map, down towards the
Correct.
bottom part of this map.
Correct.
Okay. And I noticed some of these show addresses. There's 2912, 2914, 2916. So since they appear to be going down, 2905 would probably be further down. Would that be accurate?
I believe so.
Okay. When you went to that residence, were you able to obtain any video surveillance at that residence?
Yes.
And did you yourself go in there and download the video?
I did.
Right, I'm showing you what's been marked at State's Exhibit number 6. Let's see if you recognize what that video.
I do.
How do you recognize it?
It was the same video that I have reviewed in your office last week, I believe, and it's signed on the CD itself.
And your initials are on the CD?
They are, yeah.
And did this video fairly and accurately depict what you downloaded on that day?
It does.
All right. Judge, move to have State's Exhibit 6 admitted into evidence.
Any objection?
I don't have any objection, no.
All right, it'll be admitted as State 6 with
Move.
no objection.
Move to publish.
Granted.
Did this video have sound?
It does.
Okay. Does this video appear to capture the sound of gunshots?
Yes.
I may need help with this volume just to make sure I have it right. Where's the volume on this? I want to make sure it's. Let's see here. Okay, so it's at 100. So it'll come out right.
Yeah.
This video is the time and date on the top. Were you able to verify that it was in fact accurate?
I was down to the minute of real time.
Down to the minute in real time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. It missed the first shot. Let me try it again. All right, I'm gonna rewind that a little bit because the first shot doesn't come out. So let's hear. And when you recorded this, you heard those shots back then when you got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you then took this and put it into evidence. Would that be accurate?
I actually gave the flash drive directly to homicide detectives.
Okay, to homicide detectives. All right. All right, I have no further questions of this witness, Judge.
Ross?
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Officer, obviously you did not hear those sounds live for yourself, correct?
No, correct.
That's something that you discovered sometimes later, long after you had arrived at the initial response scene.
Yeah, the sounds I heard was from the video only.
Okay. And about what time was it that you responded to the scene itself?
I can review my report.
Do you
for
have that with
accuracy.
you to refresh your memory?
Not with me, no.
Okay, if I have a copy on my computer to show it to you, is that
Sure.
all right?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor? May I approach the witness?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry, I know it's a little unorthodox, but if that refreshes your memory, just have a look and let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? Is your memory now refreshed as to what time you may have arrived at the scene?
Yeah, approximately 4:31 a.m. on May 6th, 2022.
You're not one of the first people to arrive at the scene, correct?
No.
By the time you get there, in fact, the scene's already sort of roped off and other officers are already there.
I can verify that other officers were there on scene first, yeah.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, officer. No
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Okay.
Can you read?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused?
Yes, you may.
Yes, no objection.
You're free to go.
Thank you, sir.
State, can we call your next witness?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would recall Ali Wallace.
Sir, I'll just remind you, you're still under oath. Whenever you're ready, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Wallace, I think you indicated that at the time you were watching this vehicle, you heard gunshots. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I am publishing what is now in evidence as State Exhibit 6. If you can listen to it and let me... a second. So are those shots consistent with the shots you heard?
Yes, those are. They are.
All right. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any thoughts?
No additional questions, thank you.
Ms. Witness be excused now.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Feel free to go. Thank you, Your Honor. Would the attorneys approach? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good time to take about a 10-minute break, let you stretch your legs, get some coffee, walk around a little bit. So we'll be in recess for 10. Thank you.
All rise. Very excellent.
Jury has left the room. Y'all may be seated. Thanks. Close recess for 10. Any matters we need to discuss?
Yes. So the next witness is Erica Speaks.
Okay.
And she is the defendant's current or ex-girlfriend. I've had discussions with her. I've told her about all the court orders, sent a copy so that she can, review them. But I would like the court to specifically tell her the rules as it pertains to your ruling on self-serving hearsay, any other speculation and such before she testifies. I don't want to
I can't give her a class on hearsay,
No, but what I'm saying is you ruled, right?
that she can't make self-serving hearsay.
Exactly. And I don't want any issues with a mistrial or any conversations that might be inappropriate. I'm just asking you to, or when I tell her, you can reaffirm that what I'm saying to her in your presence is appropriate. I don't think it's the first time or
I mean, if
second
you want
time.
to reiterate with her what you discussed, I will enforce that.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
But I can't instruct her on the law of hearsay and what's admissible and why she can't say it.
But you can indicate that you have a written order saying that self-serving
So if
hearsay
you
is.
follow the order and the attorney's explained it to you, you need to follow that order.
That's all I'm asking you.
Is there something specific you're running?
Yes.
Why don't we do it that way then?
Okay.
If there's something specific, because this witness, Your Honor, is very nervous. She has some mental health issues. She doesn't understand what hearsay is.
Would you
So-
object to allowing her to lead?
Yes, I would object to that.
Well, that's one way to
But
protect the system.
I understand, but if there's something specific that the state is concerned about her saying, then I think it's better to handle it that way for
Okay.
the court to order. You cannot say this.
If you can articulate those things to her, I will make sure she understands that she can't say that.
Yeah.
Here, yes, you throw.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
No. Thank you. Reverend Pigott. Could you have the Reverend Pigott?
Yes, she needs
Do you have your handcuffs?
I do.
You look sharp. So up to 16 conversations, you can stick up for like. I live in Sidebar. For the last 5 days, I've been working from 6:30 to 6. They transferred to jurors.
I was just thinking about that. I should call it.
We try to wrap them up on Fridays. You know, not Friday.
So it's just like, it's not supposed to be over certain hours. And you should check over. Let's see.
Did you meet the residents of Alice Pickett? Alice Pickett's a good friend of mine. She's one of my interns. I've been telling her about good conversation.
I know. It's a handful. Everybody's always asking me what hair care routine is.
See anything?
If I can do this, I can do that.
Anything.
I'm serious.
I'm the judge's other attorney. I'm Jinsel. Nice to meet you.
That's for Alice. Hey, him the man he is today?
Are you an attorney?
He's a pastor.
Okay.
First time I ever met somebody who was in a purple suit. I said, I don't know if you're what's going
Oh my gosh, it sounds awesome.
on? I say crazy things.
No, he's fine.
I'm not gonna say exactly. I don't know why this one sounds like that.
I'm gonna be in my junior college perspective, but I want to go to law school after. And I'm thinking about like being a prosecutor or I don't really know. I don't know.
Do you think that he's involved in his running for legal and prosecutor and probably been over 25 years?
You watch the game last night?
His name was Fletcher.
Yeah, right. Who do you think?
I'm gonna drive around.
Yes, it's like 10 back. Yeah, hockey game. Yeah, well, the others did. Yeah, well, they're Panthers on back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Somebody advocating for this guy. Try the county.
Give me some gun. Give me that stun gun. Let me party. Oh, man. I'm gonna find all these cowboy memes. They're coming. My son has a friend who's Cowboys, and I send him all the memes. Well, my son is rubbing in about we have to play out the games. It was a long time. No. Now we're talking about football. I mean, that's done good again. So
he's a nice guy, he's one of my best friends. He's on the show just promoting the circuit group. So he's a good, very, he's a defense attorney. Yeah. He's a good thing.
It's not
This week's nothing good. The Saturday after this one's good, right?
Absolutely not.
The 28th. Yeah, the 28th is the same.
It is taken. Is it your mother?
Were there any of the documents that you looked at?
Which documents you referring
Just
to?
all the documents that you looked at? Phone records, the DMVs,
The only things that get put in conversation.
You're doing it on purpose.
I don't know what. Okay, I didn't do it.
Be filed for this
But the phone
next
records
15 years.
will have an issue.
Here it is then?
I heard that.
All right. I'll be out here for you.
I just want to make sure I understand. You're just saying this one, that you failed, is the one.
I'm not doing a drop. Drop the key uniform. Get away from people. Try to do a job. Do nice things for people and you get.
Sunday after that?
What time do you want to work till tonight? Okay, but we're not gonna start till 4 again now.
You know, I prosecuted, I didn't prosecute, they prosecuted the.
This is, I just, these, yeah, I have.
Instructions for kids. Let's go that way. Really? You're not supposed to do
The back of the school, trunk to trunk, I'm really not
Yeah, I had a type of, there's two more now. So,
Do you want a separate one?
Is that your sister too? No, that's right.
Yeah, I'm Jay.
Right, yeah, I'll make sure that's my thought.
Like it's important if we're starting a witness. They usually don't have witness. Yeah, no, he does once a week.
Can you cook too? You can see the grill?
Yeah. Whichever frost.
Yeah, I think I switched it.
But, TJ? Are we getting lined up?
No. Well, you can though.
Yeah. We all set?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, he's gonna round them up.
If-
I'm gonna get it.
If the witness can come in
Yeah,
for the discussion.
well, I'm gonna, yeah, just get them ready and then I need about 5 minutes to talk to someone here.
So,
And Judge, real quick while we're on the record, I had showed this, State's Exhibit 36A, it forgot to have Detective Campbell, it forgot to ask to have it admitted into evidence. So at this point in time, Detective Campbell identified it and said that was sort of the crime scene and the location of it. At this point in time, we moved to have State's Exhibit 36A admitted into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
36A will be admitted without objection.
Thank you, Judge.
And if you wanna bring your witness in.
Thanks.
Good afternoon. Could you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
How you doing today? You're probably not happy, but this is what it is. So we got all kinds of rules and laws and things that all of us have to follow. And some things can be said outside of court, but can't be said inside. So she's gonna ask you specifically, tell you about some things that you can't say in court.
Okay. All right, so it's important that you note that you cannot say anything about whether or not the defendant had just come out of prison, whether he had been in jail, that he has been in jail since, your thoughts as to your speculation as to whether or not he may or may not be guilty. You are not allowed to speculate as to what the defendant did on the day in question, whether the only thing you can testify to is to what you have personal knowledge of. For example, if you were sleeping, you can't say, well, maybe the defendant was here or there. You can only indicate what you know. Do you see what I'm saying? Also, where you are of the opinion that on the day in question, the defendant may or may not have loaned anyone his vehicle. If you weren't awake to know that, you are not allowed to speculate about that based on what he told you. Do you understand? Oh, is that a yes for the record?
Yes.
Okay. Even as it pertains to your phone, where you indicated to me and an investigator that you had given Ronny Walker the passcode and he knew your passcode, you then went on to speculate as to whether or not he may have given it to others. You are not allowed to do that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? So basically, whatever question I ask you, you just need to stick to the answer and information that you absolutely know with personal knowledge, not from what the defendant has told you, not from what you've heard on the streets, and not from what you might have even heard from Robert Creed or anybody else. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Very important to listen to what she says. Thank you. So you can bring the jury in.
All rise for the jurors.
I'll let the jury know she's already responded. So they have any questions? Thank you, jury's back. Y'all may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm ask you again, you're able to follow the court's instructions, no comments from other people. You didn't talk to people, look up anything, or anything about the case. Very good. Thank you. Also, for the record, this witness, I had to clear up some things real quick. So she's already been placed under oath and took her oath, so you don't have to worry that she wasn't sworn in, because we already did that. And Ms. Fawcett, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Can you please say your full name for the record?
Erica Corbett Sweet.
I'm sorry, can you speak louder, please?
Erica Corbett Sweet.
Okay. And ma'am, about how old are you?
42.
Are you currently employed?
No.
Okay. Do you know a person named Ronny Walker?
Yes.
Do you see him in court today?
Yes.
Can you please identify him by an article of clothing, by something he's wearing?
A suit.
Can you point him out and tell us a description of what he's wearing?
A blue blazer suit.
Okay. Where is he's sitting?
In front of me, to the left.
Okay. May the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
It will reflect the identification.
Okay. Now, how do you know Ronny Walker?
An ex-boyfriend.
He's an ex-boyfriend?
Yes.
About how long have you dated him or been in a relationship with him?
About 3 months.
Okay. 3 months?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
3 months.
Okay, so as of May the 6th of 2022, about how long had you been in a relationship with him?
About 6 months.
Okay. And did you continue to have a relationship with him after May of 2022 and leading into 23, 24, 25?
No.
Okay, but did you continue to have regular communication with him?
No.
Okay. All right, so back on May the 6th of 2022, what was your phone number?
305-910-9779.
And is that still your phone number today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'd like to turn your attention specifically to May the 6th of 2022. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Was there anything specific or significant about that day to you?
No.
Did you go out earlier that day and then head home?
No.
Okay. Do you remember around what time you went to sleep?
About 8 p.m.
Why did you go to sleep so early that day?
I had just left a party.
Okay, so you went to a party. Who did you go to the party with?
My cousin.
Okay. Did you go also with Ronny Walker?
No.
Okay. When when you were at the party, do you know where Mr. Walker was?
Home.
Okay. When you got home at 8 p.m., was Mr. Walker at home?
Yes.
And when we speak of home, are we speaking about your apartment?
Yes.
And where was that apartment?
In 1801 East 26th Avenue.
Okay. Unit D, is it
Yes.
Tampa, Florida?
Yes.
Is that here in Hillsborough County?
Yes.
Okay. So is it safe to say that at that time, Ronny Walker and you were kind of staying at that apartment?
Yes.
Okay. And on May the 6th of 2022, when you arrived home at 8 p.m., what did you do?
Go to sleep.
You went straight to sleep?
Yes.
And when you were heading to bed at 8 p.m., do you recall what Mr. Walker was doing?
No.
Okay. And when you fell asleep at 8 p.m., do you recall waking up numerous times through the night or sleeping till morning?
Sleep till morning.
And to morning for you, about what time would you say you recall waking up?
About 6 a.m.
So you slept from 8 p.m.
Yes.
on May the 5th,
Yes.
okay? Is that correct?
Correct.
Up until 6 a.m. on May the 6th.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you recall waking up, going to use the bathroom or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And in the time when you got home to your apartment and went to sleep at about 8 p.m., did you have this cell phone, 305-910-9779?
No.
You didn't have it?
No.
Okay. So where was it?
In the car.
Okay. So you left your cell phone in a vehicle.
Yes.
Which vehicle did you leave it in?
Ronnie's vehicle.
Okay. And what type of vehicle did Ronny Walker have?
A black Ford.
Okay. All right. And so was there a specific passcode associated with your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever share your phone with Ronny Walker?
Yes.
Okay. At the time of this incident, was Mr. Walker's phone working? Did he have his own phone that was working at the time?
I can't recall.
Okay. Was Ronny Walker's phone broken?
Yes.
Okay. So the phone that he was using was your phone, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us what would have happened from the time frame of 8 p.m. on May the 5th through May the 6th at 6 a.m.? Do you have any way of telling us that? Because you were asleep throughout, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Besides Ronny Walker, did you give another person your passcode?
Yes.
You did.
May.
Categorically is what I'm asking you. Do you remember giving
Oh, no.
someone else your passcode?
No.
Okay, so you did not.
No.
Okay. Have you ever gone by the name Erica Hudson?
No.
Do you know Robert Creed?
Yes.
How do you know Robert Creed?
In the neighborhood.
Okay. Is he someone that Ronny Walker associated with, hung out with?
Yes.
Had you seen him multiple times?
Yes.
And when you saw him those multiple times, was he with Ronny Walker?
Okay. Yes.
Do you know a person named Stanley Wilson?
No.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you what has been pre-marked as State Exhibit E1 through 5. Have you previously had an opportunity to review these?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recognize the images depicted in E1 through 5?
Yes.
I'm showing you State Exhibit 20C. Do you recognize this number as your phone number?
Yes.
State Exhibit 29C, do you recognize this individual?
Yes.
State Exhibit 29, do you recognize this individual?
Yes.
State Exhibit 29B, do you recognize the person?
Yes.
State Exhibit 30D, do you recognize this as your phone number?
Yes.
Okay. And just to be sure. And do you recognize this to be your address at the time?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence State Exhibit 30D, 29B, 29, 29C, 30C, and E 1 through 5.
Any objections?
No cause for objection.
Those will all be admitted without objection.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, I'm showing you what is now in evidence as State Exhibit 30C. Do you recognize this phone number up top?
Yes.
Okay. And on May the 7th of 2022 at 12:39, are you the person who wrote, "'Cause it's me, Q"?
No.
Okay. State Exhibit 30D. This number here, 305-591-09, I'm sorry, 305-910-97. Is that the number that was yours?
Yes.
May of 2022.
Yes.
And is that your number till this day?
Yes.
Okay. Looking at the billing address for this.
Yes.
Is this the same address that you were staying, in which Ronny Walker was staying at with you?
Yes.
State Exhibit 29, is this Ronny Walker?
Yes.
And at the time, is this the home that his mother lived at?
Yes.
Okay. And you were often at that home, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Showing you State Exhibit E2. Do you recognize the person depicted in this image?
Yes.
Who is that?
Ronny Walker.
State Exhibit E5. Who is this individual, if you can tell?
Robert Creed.
State Exhibit E4. Who is this?
Ronny Walker.
State Exhibit E3. Is that another?
Yes.
Who is that?
Ronny Walker.
E1.
Ronny Walker.
Your Honor, may I have a moment, please?
Yes, ma'am.
afternoon, Ms. Sweet.
Afternoon.
And the dates can get a little confusing, so I want to try and clear something up. The party that you went to, that would have been on May. Sorry, go ahead. Take care of that. The party that you went to, that would have been on May the 5th.
Correct.
Okay. And do you remember what day of the week that was? Like, was that like a Friday, a weekend, a weekday?
It was, I believe it was a weekday.
Okay, all right. When you went to that party, you actually were using Mr. Walker's black Ford, correct?
Correct.
You were using his car.
Correct.
And your cell phone, you actually left by accident. You forgot the phone inside the car.
Correct.
Okay. And in fact, that caused some sort of a mix-up the next day.
Objection. It's just leading the witness.
It's cross-examination.
It's from us, so I don't know.
You leaving your phone in Mr. Walker's car, that caused a mix-up the next day where he was supposed to come get you at work, and you were unable to contact him to tell him you had already left work. Is that correct? Do you remember that?
Correct.
And at the time, you were working where?
Tampa General Hospital.
And was that pretty common that Mr. Walker would come and pick you up from time to time at Tampa General Hospital?
Yes.
And is that because as an employee at Tampa General Hospital, if you drove yourself, you would have to park a bit of a ways away from the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. The phone that you were using, you recall that phone number, and that's the same phone number that you have today, correct?
Correct.
You mentioned Mr. Walker, and he, I think you showed us that the address that was listed on his DMV record was his mother's address, correct?
Correct.
And his mother's name, what is his mother's name?
Emma.
Emma. You don't recall the last name?
No.
Okay. She had a phone in her name that Mr. Walker used, like he was on her phone plan, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You talked to Miss Fawcett about a passcode that you had on your phone. Do you remember asking about that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you remember coming into my office and talking to me back in September of 2024?
No.
You don't remember coming to my office for a deposition?
No.
Okay. Do you remember, let's take me out of it. Do you remember going to an office somewhere downtown across the street to take a deposition or to give a deposition?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll just take me out of it. That's okay. I'm not that important. During that time, were you sworn to tell the truth, much like you were earlier today?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember being asked questions during that time?
Yes.
Okay. And for the record, counsel, I'm referring to page 27, starting at lines 9 through 18. And this is going to be a little long-winded. Let me know if you need to repeat it, but just let me ask my question, okay? Do you remember being asked, when talking about your phone, do you remember being asked, was there like a passcode on that phone? And you responded, no. Do you remember being asked that question and being given that answer?
No.
Okay. If you were to see a transcript from your deposition, would that help refresh your recollection as to giving that answer?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, may I approach the witness? You take your time and have a look at that as much as you need to, and let me know when you're all done. Have you had a chance to look at that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you now recall being asked that question? Was there like a passcode or something on that? And you responded no.
No, I don't recall.
Okay. During that same deposition, you were asked the question, so how would you usually get into the phone? and you responded, I just swipe up. Isn't that true?
I don't recall.
You don't remember. During that same deposition, you were asked the question, so you just swipe up and it unlocks?
Sorry. Okay.
Is there a way to turn that off?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
All right, I'll go back and ask that question again. During that deposition, you were asked the question, so you just swipe up and it unlocks? And you responded, yeah. Isn't that true?
I don't recall.
During that same deposition, you were asked the question, okay, is there any kind of like facial identity? And you responded, no. Isn't that also true?
Yes.
You mentioned when Ms. Fawcett asked you about Mr. Robert Creed, you know who that is, correct?
Correct.
And does he go by a nickname?
Q?
Q?
Yeah.
Is that because and you may or may not know this, but his name is Robert Quincy Creed, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, do you know Mr. Creed's family?
No.
Do you know Mr. Creed's cousin?
No.
You said earlier that when you went to sleep after the party on May the 5th, that you slept all the way the whole night through and did not wake up in the middle of the night, correct?
Correct.
So if there are any phone calls or text messages being sent from your phone at, let's say, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning or so on, would that have been you sending those messages and making those calls?
No.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Sweet, we thank you very much for being here. I don't have any other questions for you.
Can you read your rep?
Yes. Ma'am, the deposition that you were asked about, would that have been in September of 2024? Does that sound about right? September of 2024?
Can't recall.
Okay. But did you give a sworn statement in July of 2022? Did you come down and give a sworn statement with law enforcement in 2022 after the investigation had just started?
Yes.
Okay. And during that particular questioning, which would have been, what, a month, 2 months or so after the investigation started, do you recall being asked whether or not you did, in fact, and I'm citing Court and Counsel to page 27 of the sworn statement from the date that I've indicated. Do you remember being asked if you had a passcode for your phone?
Yes.
And do you, in fact, have a passcode for your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And did you, in fact, have a passcode for your phone in May of 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I have just shown you stills from the Thornton's video. At any point in time, were you in that vehicle on May the 6th of 2022?
No.
Were you out and about at about 3 a.m.?
No.
Did you know Nilexia Alexander?
No.
Were you in any way a part of murdering Nilexia Alexander?
No.
A moment. I have no further questions. Thank you.
May this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection.
Thank you, free to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
If you could please tell the jury your name.
Ashley Moore, Moore.
Thank you. And how are you employed, Ms. Moore?
I'm a crime scene technician with the Tampa Police Department.
And what sort of training, education do you go through to become a crime scene technician?
I have a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from the University of Miami. I have a Master of Science in Forensic Science from the University of Florida, as well as additional training courses. I have a 40-hour course in crime scene investigation, 16-hour course in forensic photography, and additional training courses and in-house training along the way.
And how long have you been working with the City of Tampa Police Department?
9 years.
All right. And in all of that time, have you been working as a crime scene investigator?
Yes, I have.
All right. And how about approximately in your time in those 9 years, about how many crime scenes do you think you've been to?
Ooh. We go to anywhere from 15 to 30 a month over the course of those 9 years, so.
All right. And when you're at those crime scenes, what sort of things do you do?
I document the scene through digital photography. I identify, collect, and preserve physical evidence. And then I might do some additional processing of that evidence or that scene for latent fingerprints or potential DNA.
All right. Do you work in close concert with detectives?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you all kind of basically work as a team where you all each look for things and then pointing things out to each other and kind of that sort of way?
Yes.
All right. Now, turning your attention to May 13th of 2022, were you employed in the same capacity back then?
Yes, I was.
All right. Did you become involved in the case in the investigation into the death of Nilexia Alexander?
Yes.
All right. What role did you take in this investigation?
I was requested to respond to the Tampa Police Department impound lot to process a vehicle.
All right. Explain to the jury what that means.
It means that I photograph this vehicle, process for, collect evidence, preserve that evidence, process for latent fingerprints, and then also potential DNA.
Okay. And did you do that in this case?
Yes, I did.
Now, when you go there and you're shown this vehicle, did you know anything about the vehicle? Like, where, do you have any background, or are you just told just process the vehicle?
The detective had some background, but no, I was just directed by him.
Okay. And where is this impound lot?
It was on 34th Street South, 110 34th Street.
Okay. Do you recall about what time you got there to process it?
Roughly 11:30 at night, maybe midnight.
So you all work long hours, I guess, huh?
I work overnight.
Okay. So you are so I guess always someone has to be on call, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So anytime there's a crime, someone from the crime scene investigator can go out there and be available even at 3 in the morning.
Correct.
All right. So back then you were working nights.
And today, but yes.
And today.
Yes.
Okay. So this is basically your morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you what have been marked as States Exhibit D1 through D34. If you can take a quick look at these and see if you recognize them.
Yes, I do.
What are they?
They're the photos that I took of that vehicle that night.
And do these photos fairly and accurately depict the condition of the vehicle when you received it to process it?
Yes.
Judge State would move into evidence, States Exhibits D1 through D34.
Just want to be sure for the record, D as in dog, not C as in cat.
Did I label it incorrectly? All right. Sorry, I mislabeled these. This is actually should be C1 through C34. So, do you recognize these? And I'm going to relabel them as C1 through C34. Do you recognize them?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so at this point, I would move into evidence states exhibits C1 through C34.
I don't have any objections.
All right. Thank you.
You'll be admitted as C, 1 through 34. With no objection.
All right. Now, I'm going to go through these with you. So let me start with C1 and ask you, do you recognize what that is?
Yes, this is the vehicle that I photographed and processed.
All right. Now, when you received this vehicle to process it, what condition is it in? Like, is it preserved? Is there something done to it to make sure that it's that nothing's been tampered with?
Yes, there are evidence seals, which you can see in the photo, on every door and opening of the vehicle.
All right. Can you kind of show the jury, if maybe kind of stand up and point to kind of where they are on the?
So there's one here, and then there's two here, and they continue around.
Okay. And for the record, Your Honor, she pointed to kind of the center area of the picture where, right above the trunk, and then to two little areas on the bottom portion of the car doors. All right. And so what is the purpose of those stickers?
To ensure that the vehicle has not been opened from the moment it was sealed to the moment I open it.
Okay. Now, did you seal this?
I did not.
All right. But this is the condition it was when you first observed it?
Correct.
And then C2 is the other side of the vehicle. And again, we see what you described earlier, those two marks sealing up the car, correct?
Yes.
And then C3 is again the side of that vehicle. And here, again, you can see that same marker.
Yes.
All right. And overall, the pictures are demonstrating to you what the vehicle looked like on the day you were there to process it, correct?
Yes, it is.
And so any scratches, anything like that, that was how it was when you got there?
Correct.
All right. Do you, in fact, break the seals on this car?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And that the purpose of that is so that you can go in and process the interior?
Yes.
All right. Showing you C4. What are we looking at in this picture?
This is the interior side of the driver's side front door.
All right. Now going back to, just to be clear, you can see it on C1. This is a four-door vehicle, correct?
Correct.
So there is an entry for both the driver, the front seat passenger, and then the rear driver seat passenger and the rear passenger seat passenger.
Yes.
Okay. So now C5 is again that door open, but this gives you a better view of the interior of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
All right. And C6, that would be the interior of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And that's how it was when you photographed it? You didn't move anything? You didn't place anything? For instance, that cup that's over there on the passenger side, that cup was there when you opened it?
Yes, it was.
All right. And C7, what are we looking at there?
That's the driver's side front seat.
Okay. And again, this is just to document the condition of the vehicle, what it looked like to you just with the naked eye when you're looking at it from opening it up for the very first time.
Yes.
Okay. And then C8,
The interior passenger side front door.
And C9?
Another view into the interior passenger side of the vehicle.
Okay. And then C10, that kind of looks straight through the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
All right. And do you photograph like what's on the floors as well?
Yes, I do.
All right, so in C11, what are we looking at there?
That's the floor, the passenger side front floor.
And the items that you see in here, just random items, you collect those items from the vehicle?
I collect items that are pointed out by the detective, yes.
Okay. Then in C12, what is this a view of?
The interior passenger side rear of the vehicle.
All right, and C13? Don't know why it's not.
There we go.
Okay.
Another view into the interior passenger side rear of the vehicle.
Okay. And again, kind of looking all the way through, and there appears to be a jacket hanging there, correct?
Yes.
All right, was that the condition of it and where it was and how it was hanging when you opened up those car doors?
Yes.
All right. And C14?
That is looking down on the interior passenger side rear seat.
Okay. And C15?
The interior driver's side rear door.
Okay. And again, when you unsealed it and opened it up, that's the condition and that's where the jacket was hanging?
Yes, that's correct.
And C16?
This is the driver's side front door.
Okay. And C17, this is just kind of looking through again?
I think I misspoke. That was the driver's side rear door. Is that what I said? I'm sorry.
Driver's side rear door?
Yes, okay. I want to make sure I said the rear door, yes.
Okay, yes, okay.
And then this is looking into the driver's side rear interior.
Okay. Now, was the jacket moved at all to show the towel, or was that towel just like that? Was it all just like that?
It was like that.
Okay. And C18, is this just more of a close-up of the towel that was there?
Yes, it is.
So, all right. And C19, what are we looking at there?
This is the driver's side rear floor.
And C20, what do we see there?
That's that towel, and at this point, I have moved the jacket slightly.
Okay, I was about to ask. So the jacket's, now you've moved it aside so that you can take the picture looking more at the seat?
Correct.
Okay. And C21, what is that?
This is the driver's side rear seat. There is a can of carpet and mat cleaner there.
All right. C22, is that a close-up of that?
Yes, it is.
C23,
We are in the passenger side rear interior.
and C24.
There was a can of the carpet stain and spot lifter.
This is a different can.
This is a different can.
So there were 2 cans of carpet stain and spot removers.
Yes, there were.
removers. C25, what are we looking at there?
The interior trunk of the vehicle.
C26, what are we documenting here?
I have collected some items from the vehicle, and so now this is the driver's side rear interior after I've collected some of those items.
Okay, and this yellow sticker down there, what is that?
There was some red substance right there where that sticker was.
Okay. So you could observe it with your naked eye, you could see some red substance there.
Yes, I could.
All right, and that's to indicate where you saw it?
Yes.
C27?
I'm getting closer into that red substance.
Okay, all right, so it's just to kind of show, yes, you get a little closer.
Correct.
And C28?
There we go. Again, closer in towards that red substance.
Now, can you show the jury kind of where you could see it? I see the sticker, but like where was the red substance that you noticed?
Sure. It is a line like this here.
Okay. Did you do anything with that particular area of the car where you saw that red substance?
I did swab that area, and I also tested it with phenolphthalein.
You tested it for what?
Phenolphthalein, it's a presumptive test for blood.
Okay, and what was the result of that?
Positive.
All right. And C29, is this in fact a picture of the swab that you took?
Yes, it is.
C30, what do we see here?
I noticed that there was a little bit more red substance there, and I marked it as well.
Okay, so after you had noticed that one and swabbed that one, you looked a little closer and you saw one right, or a spot next to it.
Correct.
Okay, and did you do the same thing with that?
I did not test that spot. I just collected it.
Just collected it, okay. Now, you mentioned the phenolphthalein test that it came back positive for blood. Do you also do anything else to the car as far as processing to determine or see if there's any blood or any evidence anywhere?
Yes, we use a chemical called BlueStar,
Okay.
which is a blood reagent that's used to help visualize not easily seen or traces of blood.
Okay. Now, going back to that swabbing, so what do you do when you make a swab, and we show the jury the picture of the swab with the red substance on it,
Yeah.
what do you do with that swab after you swab it?
So that particular swab was just used for the test. I'd use a different sterile, clean swab that I then swab the area and collect, impound, and put into evidence.
All right, and do you mark it and indicate where you swabbed it, where the swab came from?
Yes, I do.
And do you seal that up?
Yes, I do.
And what is the purpose of that?
To impound into evidence, it can be later sent off for confirmatory testing.
Okay, so you don't do the testing yourself, you just do the swabbing, collect it, secure it, label it so it's identifiable, and then put it into evidence?
Correct.
All right, and then what happens with that swab later is usually decided by a detective or someone else. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
All right. So going back to the BlueStar, so you say it will indicate or possible blood. Now, could it indicate other things?
Yes, it can.
What else can it indicate?
You can get a false positive from bleach or some foods or some other metallic substances as well.
Okay. Did you use BlueStar in that area where you saw what appeared to be blood and that you swabbed and tested positive for blood?
Yes, I did.
All right, and did you get a reaction from the BlueStar?
Yes, I did.
All right, I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit C31. Is that, if you can show the jury where you see the BlueStar reacting?
Sure. The blue area that you see, that is light emitted from the reaction, that would be the BlueStar reacting.
Okay. Now, this BlueStar, is it also sprayed elsewhere?
Yeah, it's on the seat and all in that vehicle as well.
But the only place that you noticed any of the blood or the BlueStar that it lit up or showed up was right there?
Correct. In this photo, just right there.
In that photo, yes. In C32, what are we looking at there? I can see right here is where it was for the other stuff. What is the rest of that?
This is the interior driver's side rear door, that the part of the door that closes, and you can see the luminescence, which is that positive reaction from the BlueStar.
Okay, and that's along the interior of the door?
Yes, along there.
Right. Now, that jacket that we saw in some of those earlier pictures, did you take that jacket into evidence?
Yes, I did.
All right. I'm showing you what's marked as States C33. This is in fact the jacket?
Yes, it is.
And then C34, that's the jacket with the hanger?
Yes, it is.
there are gloves up there. I'm gonna ask if you can take a look at and without opening State's Exhibit C28 and tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, this is the packaging that I had for the jacket, which is in here.
Okay, can you look inside?
Yeah. Yes,
Does it appear to be the jacket?
yes, it does.
And is it in the same or substantially the same condition as when you took it into evidence?
Yes, it is.
Judge, at this time, move to have State's Exhibit number 28 admitted into evidence.
No objection.
States 28 will be admitted into evidence without objection.
You publish, Your Honor?
Granted.
Did you do any processing of this jacket, or did you just take it into evidence?
I just collected it.
Okay, so any potential processing of it was done by somebody else, but not you?
Correct.
Those are collected and taken into evidence as well, correct?
Yes, they are.
All right, I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 25A. You don't have to take the swap through that, just take it up.
Okay.
Just a little white tube.
Just have it. Okay.
That's okay. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Is that in fact your packaging?
Yes, it is.
And what is 25A? Can you tell where it was swabbed from?
Yes, this is a swab from the driver's side rear door, the bottom near the door jamb.
Okay. Was this the area that was that lit up for, or that tested positive for blood?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 25A.
Yes.
Judge, move to have State's Exhibit 25A admitted into evidence.
No objection.
Will be admitted without objection.
State's Exhibit 25B. You take a look at that. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Does it have your markings and that you sealed it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and is that in fact a swabbing you took in that case?
Yes, it is.
And where is that swab taken from?
This is a control sample of the BlueStar.
So that's a control sample.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Explain to the jury.
Because I sprayed the BlueStar and I added it to the scene, I wanted to take a swab of just the BlueStar by itself.
Okay.
So that is what this is.
Right, and that's maybe for potential testing issues or stuff like that down the road?
Correct.
Okay. And 25C, again, I'm showing you. Do you recognize that envelope?
Yes, I do.
And does it have your markings?
Yes, it does.
And what is that envelope?
This is a swab that was taken of the driver's side rear roof on the interior.
All right. Thank you. Judge, move to have State's Exhibits 25B and 25C admitted into evidence.
I have no objection, Your
25B and 25C will be admitted without objection.
All right, 25D. You take a look at that. Again, do you recognize that envelope?
Yes, I do.
Does it contain the markings of that you put on the envelope?
Yes, it
And
does.
does it identify where that swab came from?
Yes, it does.
And where was that swab taken from?
This is the red substance marked E on the interior driver's side rear door frame, which tested with the phenolphthalein.
Okay. So is that same area again that that showed up?
Yes.
In the BlueStar. Move to have State's Exhibit 25D admitted into evidence.
Honor. No objection.
Will be admitted as 25B without objection.
Show you State's Exhibit 25E. You recognize that envelope?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is that additional red substance that I swabbed that marked F, that second scale that I put down.
Okay.
Same area, driver's side rear door frame.
All right. Move to have State's Exhibit 25E admitted into evidence.
No objection.
25E will be admitted without objection.
States 25F, if you can take a look at that, do you recognize that envelope in the markings?
Yes, I do.
And is that also your envelope?
Yes, it is.
And what is that?
This is a swab of the interior driver's side front window buttons after I applied BlueStar, which luminesced.
Okay. And does that, is that in the same condition as when you swabbed it, or basically, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Move to have states 25F admitted into evidence,
No objection.
and show you states 25G. You can
25F
take,
will be admitted without
Thank-
objection.
thank you, Your Honor. 25G, do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is a swab from the interior passenger side front door near the bottom door jamb after a BlueStar was applied.
All right. And is it in the same condition, basically? And
Yes, it is.
all right, and you took that swab?
I did.
Judge moved to have states exhibits 25G admitted into evidence.
No objection.
25G will be admitted without objection as well.
Other than the area down at the bottom that you tested with the phenolphthalein, did anything else in the car test positive with phenolphthalein, a phenolphthalein test?
With the phenolphthalein, no.
Okay. Did you attempt to lift any prints from this car or any items in the car?
Yes, I did.
And what items did you attempt to lift prints from?
Quite a few, but specifically that can of carpet cleaner.
Okay, the turtle wax?
Yes.
And were you able to obtain a lift, you believe, from there?
I photographed a print on there, yes.
Or you photographed? So
I did.
let's explain to the jury like how you do lifts and how they work, because I know there's different ways of doing it, so explain.
Right. Depending on the surface, you might use a black powder to apply and then a lifting tape, and that would be like a physical lift that you would turn in. Some surfaces are better to use super glue fuming, which the super glue adheres to the print, and then I would use a dye stain, which makes that print more visible to the camera, and I'd photograph it, which is what I did in the case with the carpet stain.
Okay, and you took a photograph of it?
Yes, I did.
All right. And what do you do with these lifts, either the cards that you lift or the photographs?
I turned them into our latent examination section.
Okay. So you don't do the examination of the prints yourself? You're not a print examiner?
No, I do not.
All right. I'm going to show you what it will be marked as second here. Is this in fact an example of the print that you took?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And is that how it appears when you take the print from it?
Yes.
And this is from the fuming or whatever that you just described?
Yeah, the super glue fuming, yes.
All right, and is this in fact the print you took from that turtle wax cleaner?
It appears to be yes.
And this is State's Exhibit number 34 for the record. All right, and does it appear to be in pretty much the same condition as when you took it?
Yes.
All right, moved to have State's Exhibit number 34 admitted into evidence.
Objection.
No objection, no objection.
Case 34 will be admitted without objection.
So just to be clear, so the jury can see that this is what you observe when you take the pictures. And you put the little ruler there?
Yes, I put the ruler there for scale.
Okay, for scale. All right. If I may have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
All right, Judge, no further questions. I'll pass the witness.
Hello.
Just a brief moment, if you could bear with me. All right, sorry about that. Thank you. How are you today?
Good.
Good. All right. I want to ask you a couple of questions, specifically relating to your phenolphthalein testing that you do.
Sure.
Now, that is a presumptive blood test that you do, correct?
Correct.
And it is presumptive because it is not definitively blood if it tests positive, correct?
Correct.
This is what we call sometimes a color change test, right?
Yes.
And there are things other than blood that can cause the color to change whatever color comes up positive.
Yes.
And what is that color? Is it a pink color?
Yes, it goes from colorless to a bright pink.
Okay. And I actually wanted to make sure. Sorry, forgot my sticky note over here. All right, Mr. Terry showed you State's Exhibit C29. And this is that area that you swabbed that came up presumptive for blood, correct?
Yes.
The color that we see on this Q-tip, that is not the color that comes up when you swabbed the area, correct?
Correct.
That is the color that the Q-tip turns after you add your whatever chemicals to it.
That's correct.
Okay, wanted to make sure that that was clear. Also then now turning to the BlueStar testing that you do, that is also not a confirmatory test for any kind of blood, correct?
Correct.
Several things can cause something to illuminate blue, including cleaning agents.
That's correct.
Showing you State's Exhibit 2, this is one of those photographs where you get that blue illumination after your BlueStar, correct?
Yes.
And we can see, for example, that there is some BlueStar illuminating on the floor of the evidence section, correct?
Correct.
And we have this BlueStar that is perfectly outlining the side of the door, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And this is all in the back or the back driver's seat of the vehicle.
Yes, the rear passenger or rear driver. I'm sorry, rear driver seat.
Rear driver's seat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to confuse you there. Mr. Terry reviewed with you, I think we have, 34 photographs here. But you took a lot more than 34 photographs when you processed this vehicle, correct?
Correct.
You took, I think, over 200?
I would have to reference my supplement, but that sounds correct.
Okay. Do you have your supplement with you to
Yes.
reference?
Yes,
If
I
you
do.
want to take a look at that to refresh your memory, go ahead.
Yes, I did. I took 223 photos at the impound lot.
And part of the photos that we did not see today in State's Exhibit C1 through 34 is the BlueStar illumination in the front passenger seat of the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
There was no BlueStar illumination anywhere else other than that back driver's side passenger seat and that front passenger seat.
I believe there was some more in the vehicle as well.
Okay, all right, talk to me about that. Where are there other areas where there was BlueStar illumination?
The interior driver's side front door and those window buttons.
Okay.
Which I then swabbed. That we've talked about the driver's side rear.
Right.
But there was also the passenger side rear seat as well.
Okay, and are there any other areas?
I don't recall.
Okay. The only area that you saw in these photographs that the state has introduced was that back driver's side, correct?
I believe that was all, yes.
Okay. As far as any items to be collected, when you're collecting items, are you wearing protective items on your hands?
Yes, I'm wearing gloves.
And is that to make sure that you are not transferring your own fingerprints or your own DNA onto other items?
That's correct.
Okay, can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Moore, I'd like to draw your attention to that black jacket that was introduced. You did some swabbing on that jacket, is that right?
I did not.
You did not. You're right. I'm sorry. You collected that item, but you did not do any processing on it.
Correct.
So no swabbing for potential wear DNA.
No.
Okay. You also were not requested to do any swabbing for potential gunshot residue, were you?
No.
Okay. Nothing else. Thank you very much.
Are you right?
Yes, sir. Ms. Dunker asked you about the pictures of the BlueStar that came up on the driver's side. What was it, like the control buttons where the window is and all of that?
Yes,
And did you swab that?
I did.
Okay. And on the passenger side, you also found BlueStar lit up at a certain area. Do you recall where that was?
Yeah, the interior door.
The interior door.
Yes.
Did you swab that?
Yes, I did.
Do you know if those swabs were sent to FDLE and what the results are for those, or whether or not they even gave any chemical indication of blood at FDLE?
I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know that, so you don't know whether or not those came back relevant at all?
No, I do not.
All right. And as far as the jacket, do you know whether or not FDLE will do their own swabbing and testing of articles?
I know they will, yes.
Okay, so you don't know if that jacket was sent to FDLE and whether or not they swabbed it or processed it?
I do not know.
All right, thank you. No further questions this
Ms.
one.
Janice, would it be excused?
Yes, Judge.
No objection.
Attorney's approach.
Thank you.